way past time that you learned what real hurt feels like!
I know now, without a doubt, Kingdom Hearts is light!
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of NDC, where we talk about news, discussions, countdowns, and more, talk about various game series. Today we have another news video. Like I promised, sorry it's a bit late, I just had a really busy summer so far with analysis and everything, but we are back. So with another interview with IGN, Kingdom Hearts director Tetsuya Nomura discussed new tiers of magic present in Kingdom Hearts 3. When asked about Blizzaza, sounds so dumb, an ability first revealed in the Kingdom Hearts 3 orchestra trailer, he stated that it is indeed a more powerful version of Blizzaga. This was featured in the latest D23 2017 trailer, along with other similar higher tier magic abilities such as Frizaza and Thundaza. Yeah, that's definitely gonna take some time to get used to, but Nomura said, quote, "The background of the tier of the magic up until now, only King Mickey was able to utilize the most powerful form of magic, which is Stopza in Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance." Remember when Mickey was in Dream Drop Distance, he was meeting up with Riku and the 13 Seekers of Darkness near the end of the game. He said Stopza to freeze the organization members, except young Xehanort, because he has weird time powers. It has existed, and then in 2.8, as Aqua becomes Keyblade Master, she is also able to control the highest form of certain magic. As you notice, it is a higher tier of magic, and Sora is going to be able to use that in Kingdom Hearts 3 as well, which is really cool, which means I kind of take that as Sora is becoming as powerful as Mickey, well, at least in terms of magic, he's becoming as powerful as Mickey. So this isn't just a standard, oh, Sora's back to level 1 and he's just gonna go back up to as powerful as he was in Kingdom Hearts 2. He's gonna be more powerful than he was in Kingdom Hearts 2 and probably Dream Drop Distance. So that's really nice to hear. Next up, in a recent interview with Game Informer, which is another interview with Game Informer, the same two people are being interviewed, or companies or whatever, Tetsuya Nomura discussed more gameplay details for Kingdom Hearts 3. While talking with Game Informer, Nomura discusses the new mechanic introduced in Kingdom Hearts 3 called Athletic Flow, which is the Japanese name. In English, it is known as Flowchain, where it allows Sora to propel himself using the environment to reach new areas normally inaccessible. This mechanic also allows Sora to run up the cliff during the Rock Titan boss battle in past trailers, and he could even use it for attack as seen in the Jump Festa trailer. Nomura said, quote, "It is a new mechanic that we're implementing in Kingdom Hearts 3. The Japanese name is Athletic Flow. I don't know what the English final name is just yet. It's based on the flow motion mechanic, and it's basically revamped and introduced as a new mechanic in Kingdom Hearts 3. You'll be utilizing the environment to propel yourself to an area that you're not normally able to go to, or again, running up the cliff during battle. Those can be expected in each of the different worlds you'll be traversing through." This is very interesting. I'm wondering if this new athletic flow, I'd hardly even call it a new mechanic, because it seems like a quick time event with flow motion. It looks pretty cool. I'm not sure how much input you're going to need to put in it for it to work, but basically I'm wondering if this will actually just replace flow motion altogether. No, like obviously you get flow motion off of the Blizzard rails, but like, I mean environment where you get a bounce off the walls and everything. I'm wondering if that will be replaced in favor of athletic flow, so that's definitely very interesting. Furthermore, Nomura also discussed summons and how it's going to be more pretty compared to previous games and how they're expressing summons in Kingdom Hearts 3. He said, quote, "If I could provide a glimpse, I've made it more pretty. Not just the literal modeling, but more about how we're expressing it, and it's become more pretty." Pretty is a very interesting word to use, I'm not gonna lie, but, so summons in Kingdom Hearts 1 were pretty pointless. I mean, Mushu was okay, Simba was okay, Genie was pretty good, Dumbo was pretty bad, Bambi was pretty good, and Tinkerbell is amazing. Then in Kingdom Hearts 2, summons became a little bit more useful, because if you just keep them out on the field, they're actually pretty useful in themselves. They also sometimes have some special attacks and have a finishing move, which is very cool as well. So maybe in Kingdom Hearts 3 they're going to try something different like they did in Kingdom Hearts 2. Though it is very interesting, we haven't seen summons yet in Kingdom Hearts 3 trailers. So I'm guessing summon's going to be like the last gameplay mechanic they're going to pretty much implement. They're focusing on all the brand new stuff so far. Nomura also confirms that the Keyblade transformations are based on what Keyblade you use, and there are two different forms that each one can take. However, Keyblade transformations are not finalized yet, and they are subject to change. He said, quote, "First and foremost, each Keyblade will have its own form that it can transform into, and is different per Keyblade. There are at least 2 different forms it could take. For example, in Toy Story, you saw the giant hammer and then the drill. Another one was at the beginning of the trailer when you saw Sora shoot arrows, and then it turned into a bazooka." And he's of course referring to the double arrow guns. So there are 2 different forms. It also has multiple layers in terms of transforming. You can start out with your first phase of transformation, and if you successfully connect your combos, the next transformation will happen. We're still trying to finalize the specifications, but that being said, it is subject to change, so it might evolve into something even more impressive. That is something I'd definitely like to see. So I'm not sure if each Keyblade will have 2 forms of well, yeah, he said there are at least 2 different forms it can take. So this may mean that each Keyblade will have 2 forms of transformation. I'm not sure if the Olympus Keyblade transformation, if there are 2 phases for that one. I'm not honestly sure, but it's surprising that there's 2 phases of transformation instead of like 1 or 2. That's definitely very interesting. I just hope it's not too overpowered and you still do have freedom with the transformations. And it also is a work in progress, so it may even get better. Next up, in an interview with GameSpot, Tetsuya Nomura explains why Kingdom Hearts 3 is taking as long as it has to develop and create. And this has been gossip. This has been talked about all over the internet. Basically, people are saying that Nomura is blaming Square Enix. He said, quote, "A lot of people have been mentioning and making it sound like, oh, Nomura's taking too long and it hurts. There was a decision made to change it to an external engine, Unreal Engine 4, by Epic Games, so we switched over to that. Unfortunately, there was a bit of that needed to be rewinded and start over, so there's a bit of a setback there, but it was a decision that the company had to make, so it was inevitable. We had a plan of the period that it was going to take for us to create the content at the start of the project, and we laid out after such and such years that we would need to add more personnel resources. We had submitted it to our headquarters and had it approved, but internal personnel is very limited, and there are various other projects that had to happen within our company, so unfortunately timing did not work out, so we had to make do with the timing that was appropriate for the company. The company makes the decision, so unfortunately sometimes it is out of my control. I wanted to emphasize that it wasn't a problem on our development teams, it just happened that way, and there were some decisions that the company had to make, and it didn't work out for certain timings we were hoping to hit. It's kind of out of my hands. Yes, time has passed, but it's out of my hands." Okay, wow, okay, so people have been saying that Nomura is blaming Square Enix, that Kingdom Hearts 3 has taken so long, especially with the point with he had limited personnel, and it was kind of hard, but I could completely understand why the company had to do this. Now, of course, I didn't understand why people blamed Nomura, even when you know the facts of how Kingdom Hearts 3 was developed. I didn't know why people blame Nomura. Obviously, it's not one man that's taking this directional course that's taking Kingdom Hearts 3 so long just because he feels like it. No, that's I don't think you can really do that. No, Kingdom Hearts 3 has not been in development for 12 years. More like 3.5. But anyway, so yes, they did have to change to Unreal Engine 4, which scrapped about a year of development since the announcement. So the development on the build of Kingdom Hearts 3, from what I'm understanding, actually began in April 2014, a good almost year after the announcement. But you know, that was problems with Unreal Engine. Like, I can make a whole video about this, and I probably will, but for now, Square Enix had to make certain decisions, especially with Final Fantasy 15 that Nomura was working on, and there's a lot of development personnel, I guess, that had to work on that. And then, of course, Final Fantasy 7 Remix started development probably a couple years after the PS4, the next generation version of 15, and it's people need to realize just a little bit that next gen games take about 4 to 5 years to release, and Kingdom Hearts 3 didn't start as early in development as people said or might think. It started in like 2013 and was rebuilt in 2014. So it's only been like 3.5 years when it could easily take another 1 or 2 years. It's just that the perception of the public has made this a little strange, with people saying how long they waited for Kingdom Hearts 3 when it hasn't even been in development that long. But anyway, I could talk about that a whole different another time. They also talked with Nomura about the various Disney-themed worlds in Kingdom Hearts 3. He said, quote, "I don't think we'll be keeping any world secret until the game is released. We'll be introducing them up until launch. Nowadays, games can add content on after the fact through DLC content, so there's no need to hide any worlds." This is very interesting right here. So I was kind of hoping, with a little inkling of hope, that Kingdom Hearts 3 maybe would keep some worlds secret, so we could be like, oh my goodness, they actually did that. That world is in the game. It would be such a surprise, you know, but Kingdom Hearts has never really ever kept worlds secret, apart from like Twilight Town and Chain of Memories, I guess. But, yeah, for the most part, all the Disney worlds would be released in every Kingdom Hearts game through trailers, pretty much all the way through, because each world is a selling point. Like, if you have a fan that's a fan of Mulan, boom, play this game, it has Mulan. If you're a fan of Chicken Little, you could summon Chicken Little, I guess, if that's your thing. If you are a fan of Toy Story, Tangled, Big Hero 6, boom, that's in the game, go play it. Each world is a selling point, and it could attract different people, basically. Anyway, he was then asked if they were already planning downloadable content for the game. He said, "Nothing is set in stone, and I'm afraid we can't go into details, but I have told the team just be prepared to be able to accommodate for something like that. We can't just suddenly develop a system where we're accommodating for downloadable content, although certain games seem to be doing that just fine. So it's not confirming or denying either way, it's just so the development team will be prepared. I have informed them of making the preparations." That's very nice, because modern games often do have DLC. Even Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild has DLC. Fair DLC, but still. So yeah, you can't really accommodate for DLC. That's making me feel like they're not developing it for, like, having missing content, so they get added back in Kingdom Hearts 3 through DLC that you have to pay for, besides the full-priced game. Like Final Fantasy 15, they clearly did not develop the episode DLCs for multiple reasons, but they didn't develop it with the episode DLCs so they could go back and make the episode DLCs and sell them separately for more money. But whether that's a good or a bad thing, that's your opinion, but that's not really what we're talking about here. But I think like a final mix kind of Kingdom Hearts 3 could be added in for DLC. That'd be nice. Just one purchase for like $5 to $7, you could get final mix. It's basically just extra content that they might not have had the time to develop. That's pretty much what Kingdom Hearts 1, 2, and Birth by Sleep were in their final mix versions. Just extra content they didn't have time to develop, so they made an extra version for it. But instead of buying a whole new game, you could just do it with DLC, which is very nice. And further speaking about the worlds, Nomura stated, "I feel like I packed in much more fun than I have in my previous Kingdom Hearts titles. Kingdom Hearts 3 is going to be our first full HD game in our current console generation," which is still insane to think, because HD consoles have been available since 2005, technically, with the Xbox 360, but more so 2006 with the PS3's launch, and, you know, HDMI cords and everything. But man, it's been like more than 10 years since HD consoles have been available, and Kingdom Hearts 3 still has not, or Kingdom Hearts series in general has still not had a full HD game built from the ground up, which is pretty insane, I guess. It does involve a lot of bandwidth and resources in order to create it in full HD, so our directive was to have as many elements as possible of gameplay included in one single world, rather than having multiple different little worlds with few elements. We wanted to pack in as much gameplay elements and fun into a single world. If we were able to accomplish everything that we did plan out for, I'm pretty confident that people will enjoy and be fully satisfied with the end product. So, this is what Nomura is saying. Basically, we're going to have less worlds than Kingdom Hearts 2. We already know that. Less Disney worlds, at least. Kingdom Hearts 2 had 12 Disney worlds. Kingdom Hearts 3, it's going to have less worlds, but more fun. It's going to be much bigger worlds. That's what he's saying, at least. And if he's still sticking to the quote that 0.2 is going to be about the length of one world of Kingdom Hearts, that might actually be one world of Kingdom Hearts 3. So maybe each world will be about 2 hours. That might be stretching it, but we're definitely going to get each world for an hour. I'm pretty sure of that. Alright, moving on. Tetsuya Nomura is confident about a 2018 release. Basically, Azaria Lopez from DualShockers has had a chance to interview Tetsuya Nomura only a few days after he revealed the Toy Story trailer at D23. And here are some of the highlights of the interview. Nomura stated that he is confident about releasing Kingdom Hearts 3 within the given release window. He said, quote, "In terms of when we decided that it's going to release in 2018, I can't say for certain, but we do know that at the start of the project, we had determined how long the development period was going to be. We had this goal that we had set in our planning that we would spend this amount of time and that our personnel would be increased at such timing, so the plan was already there, but there were some factors that tied in with our company's decisions. There was a decision to change the game engine, blah blah blah." We already read about that, but basically what he's saying is we had a set amount of time that we're going to develop this game for. This went with a leak back before the orchestra trailer that Alamo had posted. He leaked that they're going to release it in 2018. No more delays, no more nothing. So that's what he's going to do. He said we're going to develop Kingdom Hearts 3 for that set amount of time, and that's going to be it. Of course, it was set back probably like a year or something because they had to switch engines and personnel and everything like that. We already touched upon that. Next, in fact, as stated previously in a GameSpot interview, there was a decision made by the company to change the external engine. And he stated that the decision was made after a whole year of developing Kingdom Hearts 3, like I said previously. In regards to directing Kingdom Hearts 3 and Final Fantasy VII Remake at the same time, Nomura agreed that while it is his biggest challenge, he's finding it not as difficult due to games being so different from each other. He said, quote, "The differences between them actually work to my advantage. If both titles were too similar, they might start to look the same. With the two being so different, there is one thing that I cannot do in one title. I might be able to do it in another. This actually works out well for me in that way. So any ideas he has, he doesn't have to immediately discard it. Since the games are both different, he could just try both in different games and it'll probably work in one of the two games." So that's very cool. Final Fantasy VII Remake's looking for more of a realistic design, while Kingdom Hearts 3 is definitely more fantasy related. And that, you know, different games is actually working to his advantage, but of course it is still a challenge because developing two major games for Square Enix in a timely manner is, oh man, this man has too much pressure, which he does state he admitted to. So yeah, that's pretty much the highlights of that interview, and that's going to be the end of this news video. I still have not covered all the news, so I'll make more news videos. But I'll catch the rest hopefully in the next video, and I'll see you guys next time. Like, share, appreciation, comment, share thoughts, share your favorite, and subscribe. I'll see you guys later.